everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk and today I'm going to show you how to make this really elegant box using the Year of Cheer DSP. It's not a new design, I've not designed it, it's been around a very long time. I've just taken it and decorated it how I like, so that it's quite a deep lid and it lifts off like so. You've got a section in here and then you, if I find the right section, twist it open like that to reveal a box at the bottom as well. So you can put your sweets in, you can put jewellery in, you could line it with tissue paper, you could put candles in, wax melts, all sorts of ideas, and then the lid fits nice and snugly on the top. And because of what I've used for the base of this, it's nice and sturdy. Let me just move that. It's supposed to be like that. So I'm going to show you what I used. I actually used the white layer that comes at the bottom of your DSP when you buy a pack from Stampin' Up. I've ended up with a big collection of it, so I'm using it up. Failing that, use the thicker weight of Whisper White. So the first piece that I've cut is 12 inch by 3 inch, and I need to score that at 3, 6 and 9. 3, 6 and 9. All of the measurements will be over on my blog, so don't worry if you miss any. I'm going to fold it that way. Don't worry if you miss any, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the first piece. Then we need 2 pieces which measure 5 and 15/16 by 5 and 15/16, and that's 2, and that will make your drawers. And then the final piece is for the lid, and this measures 6 1/8 and 6 1/8. Okay, so what we're going to do with these 2 pieces, which are the 5 1/8 piece, 5 and 15/16 pieces, sorry, beg your pardon, we're going to score them at 1.5 on all 4 sides. Very easy. Oops, I've gone wonky on that one. And we're going to do the same to the lid piece, which is 6 1/8 by 6 1/8. So again, 1.5 on all 4 sides. Very, very, very straightforward. So that's all of our scoring done. We can remove those now and we can start assembling our pieces. Now on this piece here, we're going to line it with DSP. So I have cut 4, and these measure 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So I'll glue those on, and I'm going to just cut these and then I will assemble them and come back. So we're going to cut along the score line from there to the first score line, then we'll turn, cut like so. To be honest, I could do with folding and burnishing first to make them lines nice and crisp. And because this is quite thick, this card, that's come from the bottom of the DSP, it needs a really good squeeze, but it will give you a fantastically sturdy box. Okay, so we're cutting along there. Just got to remind myself which one's the lid, because the lid's slightly bigger, that's the lid. So we're cutting there, turn and cut, turn and cut, turn and cut. And what we're going to do is we're just going to very slightly notch as well on the outside of that flap. Okay, so turn it and just give a notch on the outside. And again. Turn a notch. Okay. So you do that to both of those pieces, which are for the drawer, and then you adhere on the flaps, fold the flaps in, adhere them and you form 2 small boxes. So I'm just going to go and do that off camera to keep my video short. I'm going to glue those, and then I'm going to glue these DSP panels onto here, and then I will be back. Okay, so I have glued the boxes. All you do is, you know, you cut the flaps, lift them up, make a box. It really is that simple. And this is a side piece, and I have glued the 4 DSP panels. So all you do now is, this is a wrap that is going to go around the boxes. So you get 1 box, and you're going to glue it on the bottom there and on here. So you're going to glue the bottom of the box and the side of the box. So the bottom and the side, so that it holds like so. Okay, and then you've got 2 flaps remaining, and you're going to glue your second box to the top, line it up at the top, and then the further side. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. I'll do that on camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, it's still a little bit wet as this. I am rushing a little bit. I would suggest letting your components dry fully in between before you start gluing them on, basically. So I'm gluing that side, and I'm going to glue the side to the left of that. Okay. So then I'm going to line it up on the very bottom edge, like so. And then lift that up, and then I can flip it over and make sure it's all lined up nicely, because we want that really flush with the end of that cardstock. So take some time over that bit and get it right. Okay, or else it won't shut nicely. Okay, just going to go in with my bone folder to encourage that to adhere nicely. And again, I would just leave it to dry in between what you're doing, in between layers. Just wants moving up slightly. Okay, just got some excess glue there, I'll rub that away. You might need some time to let it dry, and then the second one you do the same again. Glue on that, which is the bottom, and then you glue to the right side, and then you're putting it on the next square across right up to the top. Got some glue on there. Let me just rub that off. It should come off. There we go. Okay, and then lift that side up to meet it, and then again make sure it's all nice and flush, and you might need to hold it until it dries. Oops, a daisy. Get back in there, mister. Get all lined up like so. Lift that up a bit. You do want it, and I am trying to take time to line it up quite precisely, otherwise your lid won't fit nicely and it won't close nicely. Again, I would leave it to dry in between, but because I'm doing a video I don't have time. So there you go, that's what you're doing. So you end up with that, and then the box will close like so. Okay. Mine's still wet. I don't want to close because it's still wet. It's not all glued yet. So I'm going to leave that to have a few more minutes to dry, and I'll just do the lid. So for the lid, we're going to Have I cut it? I've actually used the, I've cut the bottom part off of the, with the Stampin' Up logo inside. Never mind. This is just a sample, so it doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't cut that piece if you're using the scrap parts. I hadn't realised I'd done that. Not to worry. Okay. So then we just form this into a box, the same as the others, by cutting the flaps. Turn it and cut it. Like so, turn and cut. And then I'm just going to slightly notch again. Turn and cut. I'm just going to notch those outside pieces to make sure they don't protrude when I build the box together. You don't want them showing over the edge. So I'm just going to snip those off quickly. Get rid of those. And then I have some DSP layers here. And that one is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And then the side panels need to be 1 3/8 by 3. Okay. So you're cutting 4 of those. Again, all of the measurements are on my blog. So I'm going to go and glue all of that together. You put adhesive on all of these small flaps. And then you just lift it to form a box. So I'll go and do that. And then I'll come back in a minute. So I've done the lid. And I've got a small confession to make. You may notice that there's shadows now. Probably third part of this video I'm doing much later on because I've been making dinner at the same time as making this project. So if it's cut and pasted into about 3 different parts, then that's why, if you wondering. So we've got our little box there that opens nicely. I've done the lid, I've covered it with DSP, and as you can see, that fits on absolutely beautifully. It's not too stiff, it's not buckling, but it's not, you know, dropping off. It's perfect. Just about as perfect as you're going to get. So now I'm going to quickly show you how to do the bow. Very, very simple. We've got one strip that is 6 inch by 1 inch and 2 that is 5 inch by 1 inch, and we're going to use our envelope punch board. And all you do is, this is 6 inch, so you find the middle, which is 3 inch. So you put this up to 3 inch, punch, flip, and punch. Then you get the ends, and you go into this centre part here, and you find the middle, and you just eyeball the very middle there, okay? I'm going to do a video on making some lovely packaging bows at some point. Turn it round, do the same, and you just eyeball in the middle of that punch. Okay, and it's so that it gives you that shape at the ends. Okay, so that's the 6 inch one, and then you do one 5 inch one is going to be your tails, and one is going to be the second layer of your bow. So you find the 2.5 inch mark, flip, punch, do the same at the ends by going in half, you know, in the centre, just to give that shape at the end, so that when you build the bow, it's a nice shape and it's nice and sort of tapered. So that's your bow. And then for your tails, this is going to be your tails. You need to find the centre mark again and flip. But instead of doing this thing at the end, we're going to do tails. So you get your flat edge and you put it straight up, and you kind of line it up and find the middle and punch, and it gives you that tail shape. And the same at the other end. Okay, and we can move that away. Now what we want to do is we just want to just gently hold it in the middle so it doesn't tear while you're doing it, and just gently curl. And just curl like so. Now when you are doing your bows, when you fold them like so, if your paper starts to crack there, it's because you've cut your paper the wrong way. I'll just quickly show you that tip. There's a right and a wrong way to cut paper. If you hold paper like that on your hand, it will automatically bend. It will kind of bend and it will fall to one way. It's the same with card and it's the same with DSP. And if you hold it the other way, it won't bend. So you want to cut it the way that it bends. So you'd cut it along that edge there. Or if it's a small piece, you can just get a hold of it. And if it bends easily, that's the way you want to cut. But if you go that way, it's a bit more resistive. Just have a play and you'll see what I mean. It's hard to show on camera. But it does stop your paper cracking if you cut your paper one way. Right, so then you just get your glue dots. Do we actually have any on it? Here we go. And you start and build the bow. You can use the bow maker as well. I just fancied making these ones today because it's slightly bigger than the bow maker. Doing it this way. Just line it up nicely in the middle. I've got one layer. I'll do my other layer. As I say, it just gives it a bit of a bigger bow, and you know the bow maker is one size and that's it, whereas when you do them on the envelope punch board, you can make them whatever size you want. You just adjust the sizes, obviously, to get a bigger bow. You can make them fatter. I do like them at the 1 inch strips. Any bigger and they can look a bit daft, but you know, it just depends what size project you want to put them on. Right, so then I'm going to layer that smaller one on top of the bigger one. I'm doing it all with glue dots. You could do it with wet glue, but you just need to have patience and wait for it to dry. Just realised I need a bling. There we go, let me just get myself a bling for the middle. Got to have some bling on your bows. It's the law. And then I need to stick my tails on, so more glue dots on the bottom, and I can stick that in the centre there, line that all up, and we've got a lovely bow, but we're going to make it that little bit more special here. Just need some more glue dots, and I've got one of the foiled snowflakes, and I've already cut it in half. I'm going to cut it in quarters, and then I'm just going to trim another little section off. Good old glue dots again. Is that on? Yeah. And then I'm just going to lift that top layer up, and I'm just going to pop in that bit of snowflake there. I'm going to end up with all glue dots stuck up my arms. I'm going to be going out to school run with glue dots all over me. Oh dear. So another glue dot on there. Just check that it's on, which it is. Just lift that gently back and put that in. But just make sure it's showing. You want it to protrude. And then we're going to put one of these faceted gems in the middle. Let's have one of these big ones. Why not? Let's go for a big juicy one. Oh, get in the middle. You want it in the middle, you don't want it... Come on, get in. My bit fingers and thumbs. Press. There we go. And there's your beautiful bow. There you go. Super pretty. And we're going to put it on the box. Now you can put it on straight, like so. You could put it on the front, like so. You can do what you want. I'm putting mine on an angle. I just think it looks swish. So I'm adding a glue dot there, and I'm putting it on the box. And then because it's foiled, they can take this bow off and save it, reuse it or whatever. And there you go. You've got your beautiful box with... I'm stuck. 2 boxes inside, ready to put your treats in. I hope you'll give that a go. Don't forget that all of the measurements are over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Give it a try. Bye.